Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the post-Super Bowl episode of So What You Hear. I'm Jay,
Craig.
Tip.
and we're here to talk about a pretty good game. It had some slow ups and downs, but I mean, anytime a Super Bowl goes into overtime, you have to call it a good game.
Yeah, we did some hopeful, wishing
Yeah.
we want 49ers to win that.
I'm never betting against them again in the Super Bowl.
I mean, they
Might not be in the playoffs.
They lost the Super Bowl, but
Yeah, and the person he lost to, he ain't never playing again.
Really?
do you think Brady's playing again?
Oh.
You think Brady's coming back?
That's not who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking Burrow beat him in the AFC Championship. Look, you don't think he's going to play Joe Burrow again? But yeah, that's not what you were talking about, Super Bowl, so that would be Brady.
Yeah, that'd be Brady. That was a good game. We went in overtime. I was nice.
Yeah.
Green. Oh,
Green Bay?
no, not Green Bay. San Francisco came out gangbusters. The Chiefs were stalled in the first drive, and then they had that fumble, and it just seemed like they were everywhere in the first quarter.
The 49ers defense.
49, and then
Yeah.
I really think that Greenlaw injury when he was running that
Yeah,
that-
get back on the field.
Because that's when Kelsey started going off.
Yeah.
When Greenlaw went down is when Kelsey started just taking over the game. And that kind of led to all their offense in the last part of the game.
them not having Greenlaw, which is what led to them having the ball a lot in the third quarter, which ended up having because that Niners defense was out a lot in the third.
The 49ers, they stopped running the ball in the third quarter.
They did ease up on
If they kept trying to pass the ball, that was a 3 and outs and giving it right back to them.
Well, I'm wondering if maybe the two sides picked up on the same thing at the same time. Purdy was starting to pick their zone apart very easily. So now you go in like, hey, we were running, but like, dude, you're tearing this apart. Bet we're just gonna go out and let you tear it apart.
And
And Spagnuolo's like, hey, he is eating our zone alive. We're playing man in the second half, and then now like, hey, why is it? Oh crap!
I mean, just such a. I mean, Caffrey, come on, that's one of the.
Yeah, and I wasn't
running
expecting
backs.
that young Chiefs D to blanket those Niners receivers.
Yeah.
Like McDuffie, Ladarius Sneed, they were Debo, Kittle, and Ayuk were just
Locked down.
Yeah.
it was like dang.
Yeah,
And Chris Jones became a force in the second half.
yeah.
He
He
became
was all over. He was in Purdy's face.
like he might not have had a
Yeah.
sack, but he was there every time disrupting.
They had him on the run.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Purdy's not.
The most
This
mobile
is
guy.
the most I've seen him run in these last
Yeah.
2 games, honestly. But yeah, he's.
Yeah. We don't give Patrick Mahomes enough credit for scrambling.
Yeah. He's not really a runner, but he's really hard.
Oh my goodness! It throws at him like a couple of times, and he
Yeah.
just.
The one thing Niners did in the beginning with him is they made him stay. They kept him in that little pocket because when he gets to the outside, it gets dangerous. But then when they drove him out to the outside, they kind of made him stay flat.
Yeah.
They pushed him out. But then after the second half, he found ways to make it work for me.
Yeah.
And he started getting around.
They started taking their eye off of him. Like they would go after him and everything, but like they just once they couldn't get him, then I don't know. They wasn't trying to contain him the same way they were.
And when he knows it started, that's when he started like doing a little like he led his team rushing.
Yeah, because they locked Pacheco up.
Yeah, he can't do anything.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, he wasn't even getting
they
a
stuffed
yard.
that run
Yeah.
up.
Oh my goodness,
He
that
had
was.
like 18 rushes for like 50 something.
Yeah, as
yards.
soon as he got the ball, he was
Every time.
down.
Every time.
Because that's what they was about to stop him in overtime because they really. Oh my goodness.
When they had him on that almost 3 out on their first drive in overtime.
And then Mahomes just like, nope, not
No, we're
today.
when he went for that 4th and 1 scramble and he went up and slid, I was like,
That's it.
I knew right there.
That's all the way to
I
do it.
I knew, but I also knew when they kicked that field goal.
When San Francisco settled for a field goal in that first drive, I was like, ugh.
There's no way they're not going to go down. They're not. They have 4 downs and they're going to go. And even if, and like they said, even they already had in their mind, even if San Fran would have scored a touchdown, they're going for 2.
Yeah.
So it was. And it also baffles me how San Fran really had no idea about the postseason.
That can't even be right. That doesn't even make sense to me. Like,
Sounds like the same thing when Donovan McNabb didn't know that you could enter the tie.
which was crap too.
Yeah,
This
He's done
was
that
the last
before.
time.
Yeah, he did that before.
I didn't know a pro game could end in the tie.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
like,
but
so I mean, I just
it's very
And that's
odd.
why Andy Reid made sure they knew the overtime rules. He's been through that with a quarterback
I'm
before.
like, I don't.
And they went over it a lot. They said,
Yeah.
they had just a specific time. They just talked about it for.
I mean, it's been a couple of years, the 3
and
years.
it hasn't happened. This is the first time it's
Yeah,
happened yet.
still, like, come on, man,
And
that's
the
your job.
but the postseason rules. This is the first year they've been implemented.
No, I think last year it was implemented. They didn't need it.
Yeah.
It's the first time.
Okay,
they
okay.
had
This is the
used
first
it.
time they played. They voted it in like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
When,
But this is the first
Oh yeah,
time
when
it's-
KC beat the Buffalo.
Buffalo. Yeah. So it was already a thing, but it hadn't.
Which on
It
another
happened
thing,
yet.
why do you think Kansas City knew it so well? It was kind of made up for them. So I mean, you're
Yeah.
gonna know it a
So
little better.
or against them.
Actually, it was more
If you
so
got a
for
quarterback-
Buffalo.
Yeah,
so
that's what I said,
So
it was
Buffalo
against
could
them.
somebody could get
Yeah.
the ball besides them. And
Yeah.
go off.
Well, that's what I mean. It was made up like to
Yeah.
beat them.
Mm-hmm.
So like like I said, it was a good game. Travis Kelce started to turn on. He got a little aggressive, abusing old men. It was just,
My thing is, with it being said, where do you now with like Patrick Mahomes having 3 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, where does this really put him? He's obviously on his own right now when it comes to anybody in the league.
He officially has more rings than Peyton. He has 3 times the amount of rings of Marino. The only person is Terry Bradshaw and
Troy.
No, him and
no,
Troy.
him and Troy are tied.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
The only
I
people
meant
more than him are
Brady.
Bradshaw and Brady.
Bradshaw,
Like-
Brady, and Joe Montana.
Like, if he retires right now today, he says, you know what, I'm done.
He's already.
He's
home.
one of the greatest,
He's already
he's one of the best quarterbacks that ever played. Like, it's a Hall of Fame career. Like,
Yeah.
especially considering my stance with Eli Manning is there's no way that 2 Super Bowls and 2 Super Bowl MVPs doesn't get you first
Eli's on
ballot.
the ballot this coming up.
2 Super Bowls, 2
They've
Super Bowl
always
MVPs.
disrespect Eli.
You should be first
It doesn't
ballot.
matter. Eli's getting the first ballot.
Like they was like
If
they
he
had
doesn't
this
get first
feud.
ballot, there's going to be New York might blow.
Well, I always felt myself defending Eli because like they'll have a dispute with is he really elite? He's a two-time winning.
No matter what happens, the Super
Super
Bowls
Bowl
he
winning
won
quarterback.
and the 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Look,
It
I don't care what
it
no
beat
one
an
says.
undefeated New England. Like
And you're
that
talking
doesn't
about
make
a
you.
team that historically,
And-
like, the
And then,
Odell
hold on, I'm
Beckham got
sorry.
his contract.
Historical endings.
Yeah.
These games are like
Odell Beckham got his contract because people were putting pressure on the Maras because we never did anything to have real offensive weapons.
and yet
And he won 2
Yeah.
Super Bowls.
I mean
The 2011 Super Bowl, Eli Manning, our offense had the 31st ranked offensive line.
how you getting started?
Second to the last in the league
All I
to win a
said
Super Bowl.
was he's on the
That's
ballot.
it.
That's all I said.
I mean, I'm sorry, that's it.
And I just asked, but all I asked was
You
Patrick.
know, you can't
Anyway,
get him-
anyway,
you can't get him
anyway.
started. I know.
And I digress. But,
And Brady's still mad that
yeah.
he got beaten by Peyton's little brother.
He said he would trade 3 rings.
He would
for that-
trade 3 rings for that undefeated season.
Damn.
But anyway,
But yes, that Patrick Mahomes is a GOAT.
And what do you think Purdy going to be? I think I was impressed with Purdy this year a little bit.
I felt like Purdy, and even in these playoffs, I felt like you had games where like the offense wasn't working, and he started taking off on runs. The fact that it's being talked about that Spagnuolo said like, "Yo, we have to change the coverage because he's eating." They didn't change the defense to stop McCaffrey.
yeah,
They didn't change the defense to stop
IU,
Debo. It
Kittle.
was Brock Purdy is picking us apart. We have to change up how we're covering.
And you know what's funny? Because you was playing Madden last night, and they had no confidence. I think in Purdy in that like they didn't think anything of Purdy. You could tell it was going to be a fluke last year, and
Yeah.
I just think he proved a lot of people wrong.
This season alone, I was worried how he was going to look after the elbow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And he came out here, did his thing, and then he was down multiple times this postseason, and rallied back through. They rallied back through him, not because of somebody else, but because of him. And I think I think that, I mean, he's definitely getting a big payday. Like,
I mean,
so,
his biggest flaw is he
Actually,
makes it look so easy. I swear he makes
They
it look like
can't
anybody
pay
can.
him. Yeah.
not yet, but I mean, he's still recovering.
Yeah, he got what?
Well,
No. Okay. If he was earlier than the 7th round, he could redo his contract in his 3rd year. If he was, if he wouldn't have got drafted and gone undrafted, he could renegotiate his contract in his 3rd year. But because he's a 7th round pick, you're not allowed to even discuss contracts until after the 4th year. So he cannot.
No, that's
do a
actually,
contract
that's actually
until
better
next
for
year.
them because there's a whole bunch of cap hits the Niners got.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hurt them. They're about
Yeah.
to lose a lot of stuff. Ayuk seems really unhappy. I think he's going somewhere else.
You think so?
He's got family members that have been tweeting. That's why we're getting out of San Francisco. We're done with
I
this.
wonder where
When
he's
they asked him
going.
at the end of the year, they were like, "Do you think you're going to be back in San Francisco at the end of the year?" The other day, they were like, "Do you think you're going to be back in San Francisco?" He was like, "Well, if that's the best decision."
Where would you think he'd go?
Anyway,
I don't know.
I mean, shoot.
I mean, there's talk about him coming to
Tennessee
us
took
earlier
him
last
over.
year. Tennessee, Pittsburgh.
Look, well,
He's a free agent too, so it's not even just
Yeah,
like
it's
he can
all
go to
good.
y'all. It's not a trade.
Yeah.
I think he is going to try to go to somebody that considers a
I like
contender.
Ayuk. I do. Like, he keeps driving.
I think he's a better version than Mike Gallup,
Yeah,
and
I
I think that's
mean,
what y'all need. You need,
yeah.
you need Gallup at the first year he played.
You
which,
never know with Gallup. Like, I like Gallup, but you don't.
and that's the
you
thing.
don't know which
Ayuk
Gallup's
can
gonna
do
show
that
up.
every game.
Yeah.
he's more
And
consistent.
then he doesn't even have to be the guy because CeeDee Lamb's out there. And, like, yes, Ayuk has Debo, but Debo's not really a down-the-field threat. He's kind of a short yardage threat,
Yeah,
and then he
he's
runs
like
and stuff. Whereas CeeDee Lamb
He's
is
a
going to
wide
take it
receiver.
higher.
He's a wide receiver who, when the ball's in his hand, runs like a
He's an
running
extra tight end.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's
Yeah.
everything. He's just.
And whereas, like, and then, like, CeeDee Lamb, he's going to take away secondary. Like, Debo doesn't really get secondary. Like, you're not getting the secondary to shift to him. You get linebackers and stuff. You need people that can tackle. So Ayuk's still getting the best coverage.
I got you.
CD's going to take away the best coverage, and you're going to have to cover Ayuk with safeties and
But
second
if
and
you
third
got
corners.
CD all wrapped up, Ayuk is always
He's going
always
to force
open.
him.
I swear, like.
So we'll definitely see what I think. Like we said, I think Purdy definitely he deserves his praises. There's nothing. He played a good game. He really didn't make any mistakes. It's just there was a couple throws that he couldn't get to where he needed to be. But I mean, they were blank. They were in his face.
Yeah.
I mean, so it is what it is with that. But I mean, he proved. Like I said, he proved a lot of people wrong. They were definitely. It was a great game, but the halftime show was really good too.
Somebody my sisters told me that we was had to talk about the halftime show. I almost forgot. I should did it. I had flashbacks.
Yeah, so Beats had flashbacks too.
Oh my God. They old friends, you can tell. Like,
Grab him on me, grab him on my girl like that.
He do nothing to forget.
And he smiled at the camera. We ain't slick.
Like, I'm sorry, you're talking about
They
a dude that has a
old
history
friends.
of being like a deviant in that department.
He already gave his confession,
And then he married his girlfriend on February 11th in Vegas.
and that's wrong.
No, but he married
after the show.
her after the show.
See, that's to show her that Alicia Keys, they friends. You can't have friends.
Okay.
Luda, I love me some Luda. So I was scared.
It was good. It was a really good
It was
halftime
a
show.
good halftime show.
I really enjoyed it. It was like he came out in them skates. I'm like,
You know what?
okay.
Well, you know what? Though? Andy Reid has always been a good coach, but now with these 3 Lombardis under.
Okay, that was weird. We were just talking
That was
about
a very-
halftime
that
show.
was
But
very-
okay,
Oh.
we can
'Cause
talk
I was
about
waiting. I
it.
mean, yeah, we can transition.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just thinking.
We can talk
Andy Reid.
But yes, no, I was just thinking about, because we're talking about legacies. How much longer do you think Pat has with Andy?
You know he's only 60-something games behind most wins.
And he's 67.
Yeah, I think it was 65.
I think he needs like
65.
60 to catch Belichick. He needs like no, he's 50-something to catch Belichick. It's 65 or 67 or something like that to catch
I don't think he go anywhere.
to break
Football
the
is
record.
life.
He eats
Yeah.
and breathes football.
And
Yeah.
he looks rather. He doesn't look nearly as old as he
You know
is.
what? He doesn't look.
Aged.
Yes, like you would think him coaching for someone his. You don't see like the stresses you see. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Bill aged a lot since Tom left.
Yeah.
You saw
You've seen it. He looks older.
I think if Travis would have pushed Philadelphia, Andy Reid, furniture probably would have been moving. as opposed to Kansas City. I think that shows age a little bit. He was saying he was thrown off though. Like he kind of like.
You saw like.
But I do remember he could be a little fiery back in the Eagles.
Fiery,
that's a good word.
You know, so
but
I really
that
believe
that would have been a completely different issue.
I really believe it would have been a little bit different. Sometimes you got to catch people. It's like Will slap and rock now, as opposed to like.
I think he's like one of the few head coaches to have over like 100 wins with 2 different franchises.
I think so. He's got a bunch of
yeah. Dang man,
like the 2 different, and I mean you're talking about multiple like successful playoff runs with 2 in 2 different conferences too.
Yeah,
he's dominated in the NFC and in the AFC.
I wouldn't say dominated in the NFC, but he was there.
I mean, he choked 3 NFC championships in a row, but they were in them.
I really can't say he choked. His players didn't. Well, he had a game plan. They just didn't execute properly.
Sounds like Ronnie McGabb.
I mean, but it was
like, Haterade. I'm drinking inches. I'm just saying.
I mean, obviously you can't give choking because he's got Super Bowls.
That's right. So they're the first back-to-back in 20 years.
Yeah.
You think they can get the three-peat? The illustrious three-peat?
I mean, I didn't think they'd get one this year because their offense was terrible.
I don't think so.
None of us thought they would be.
I'm sorry.
They got this one. I really am.
All their defense is locked up. So they don't have to worry about contract with defense, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So the only thing they have to do, I thought they signed him.
No.
Oh, that's right. They got to get a long-term deal.
That was so.
But they're going to go in the draft. They're going to get receivers, which is the only thing they don't have. They're going to cut what's his name.
About receivers.
Oh, Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way you get benched and suddenly they go from one of the worst offenses in the league to one of the best.
Yeah.
All the way to a Super Bowl. There's only one thing that changed. Your ass ain't on the field. Come on. Like, it ain't even a personal thing. Like, dog, we were really bad when you were playing.
It's not personal.
We sat you down, and now we played really good.
So, yeah, I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, so, do you think the 49ers are going to be here again next year? Because, they just fired their defensive coordinator.
Steve Wilkes can't catch a break.
Yeah.
He's like been fired.
You should have got the Carolina job, right?
Yeah. He's been fired after like 1 year stints. Remember, he was the Arizona head coach. And remember he inherited like Josh Rosen or something?
Yeah.
And then because it was a rebuilding and he thought he was going to be there, they fired him after the first season and went and got Cliff Kingsbury.
Didn't stay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and then he was Carolina's interim head coach, and he had them looking decent before they. And you're like, okay, they're going to be the first round, they're going to have the number 1 pick. They're like, yeah, we don't think you should be the head coach. They went elsewhere. Yeah. So, and then he came to San Fran. I was like, okay, well, he found a home. The defense is good.
They look good. Yeah.
They lost, and they were like, well, it wasn't us on offense. See you later, boss. And like, also, where are you gonna go? Most coordinator positions are all
already filled.
So now he's on the outside looking in. He's going to be a special advisor or assistant to something.
You never know.
Down to college?
No, I don't think so. But,
yeah. I'll tell you one thing. If they're firing the defensive coordinator after 1 season and a Super Bowl, if they lose in the Super Bowl, the NFC Championship next year, Kyle Shanahan's gone.
I think that's what I think.
That's it.
I think somebody had to.
So you think if they don't go all the way and win it?
I think this was.
They can see more.
Somebody had to go.
I think the vision is starting to look into our line. There's no weakness in our line. There's no weakness in our receivers. We now have this quarterback that we're seeing play real well. There's no weakness in our defense. Our kicker's good. Our punter's good. Why are we falling short? Usually teams that go to the playoffs and make really hell of runs and then just can't push over, it's usually coaching. When it's a lot of talent, but they just can't, it's usually coaching. And, I mean.
That's true. If you don't remember, there was a play during the Super Bowl where they came out in a cover 0 look, and Shanahan called a timeout because he went over this team and was like, you got to give me something better than that because Patrick Mahomes will tear us apart.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. He talked to him. I was like, no. This is not defense. Not gonna work.
We're not doing it.
Yeah. So I was like, oh,
That's not a good thing.
Yeah, like damn.
And I mean, I've heard that he said before it wasn't just like the Super Bowl went bad and they were like, they haven't felt like the scheme he had worked with the way they want their defense to work all year.
Remember, during the season, he was up in the booth. Then they made him come
because they had the 3 really bad games.
And he came down
and got a little bit better. So now we lose again, and Kansas City's worst offense they've had since Mahomes drives on you like it's nothing.
I don't know.
We're trying for Super Bowls, not just good seasons.
I feel like they end up with that ball more than they probably should. And they were holding them. I mean, how long are you going to hold?
Well, that's true, too. If
you can only hold them for so long.
If that offense scores at all in the third quarter.
If that field goal, if that extra point wasn't blocked, this game would have been over regulation.
Yeah.
And I think when they went for that last field goal in regular time, I think they should have ran the ball and not passed it because that stopped the clock.
Because at least would have ran the clock down more, if not.
Yeah, that third down.
I mean, you hadn't lost anything to say than that. You know what I mean? It's McCaffrey. So
again, it's a coaching issue.
Yeah, I mean,
McCaffrey had 22 rushes in the game.
He scored the first time. Yeah,
he did touch the ball. If you think about it, that's a lot of touches.
Yeah, but the period where they made their comeback,
he
wasn't really touching the ball.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then now that they've got it, the lead and everything, all of a sudden you get it to tie it up. But you could have kept the lead if you would have kept running.
If you would have kept running, you need the time to go away. You don't.
I mean, that's kind of how that works.
The time is not. I don't understand. This is the third team I've seen lose, and what they did, they stopped running the ball the second half.
Detroit lost.
Green Bay first.
Green Bay
lost first. They stopped running.
Running on San Francisco, good plan. They were up. They stopped running the ball. They start doing nothing but throwing. San Francisco comes back, beats them. Detroit does the exact same thing. Stop running the ball. Their running game was eating.
They were cooking.
They come back. So why would you go, hey, we were able to come back on 2 different teams because they stopped running the ball and threw the ball. So we're going to do that too.
Like, I don't get it.
Doesn't make sense.
And I'm like, I just don't get it. Like,
I mean, maybe it's me because that's just how I think football should be going. I'm going to run the ball and run the ball and run the ball and then we're going to run the ball again.
Yeah.
Saw that from you and Madden, so I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to get the smoothness of the sticks today. My running game is getting nasty.
Anyway, so, I mean, what else we got to talk about? I mean, this is a good season. If Dallas didn't do the puppy, it's crying, so I apologize. But I just was like, I think overall this season was really good. Like I said, Dallas didn't end it the way I wanted to end it, but I thought they looked good. It looked promising. We got a new defensive coordinator.
Mike Zimmer.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Tennessee's done blew up from the bottom up. So
we won't know until
next year. We won't know until next year. I'm looking forward to the Brian Callahan and see what they do. I mean, I'm excited.
Jack's got a new D coordinator.
Yeah,
I'm kind of happy, and I still get to root for Wink because he went to Michigan. So hey,
it was a good season. I really enjoyed this first season of us really making all these episodes, and you guys sticking with us.
I really liked not just bitching to each other. It's been fun to feel like other people are getting to hear it.
To witness, and you can join in and bitch with us. I mean, because it does help get out some of the frustration I've noticed. With less things almost being broken. You walk around like, what can I?
And we always know that we have we're gonna save that for
So conversation starts getting too extra just on regular. It's like, hey, wait, and we'll finish this Wednesday.
Yeah.
I just I don't know. Like I think that I got to see football from a different angle. You start looking for I've been looking for different things than I normally look when I watch games, and so it's been interesting. It really has.
More than just the final score matters.
I'm starting to learn people's names.
I mean, fantasy had already brought an extra loop into football watching for me.
Yeah.
But then now knowing that I need to pay attention more for what we're going to talk about looking forward, I'm more looking at it more from an analytical point of view.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I've been paying attention to a lot more front office stuff.
That's not like staffing and
I wouldn't even say because like you said, I'm breaking down film because we got fantasy. I need to know who gets the ball a lot. Like, okay, he doesn't score a lot of touchdowns, but he gets a lot of possession catches and stuff. I was already doing that for fantasy. But, like, who's the president of operations and who's being replaced as CEO and what GM is drafted bad and why this was a bad move for this quarterback and this play and how, I wasn't
not even a little
paying
bit,
that much attention beforehand. You knew the big names, but other than that,
yeah. So I think this is a lot of fun. I think like I said, this is like the ending of the season when if you say last year Kansas City gonna win another Super Bowl, that's not surprising. That's not gonna get. But this Kansas City team is struggling.
Yeah.
We saw them lose to Detroit week 1.
Yeah.
Then we saw them they had a couple losses sprinkled in in December. They got destroyed by the Raiders.
They were holding on to their lead.
Denver almost beat them.
Yeah.
Like teams that weren't good were almost beating them, and good teams were stomping them. And it was like, oh wow, this team is bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't even just that they didn't look Super Bowl; they looked bad.
And then this
postseason they came in
the last couple weeks of the season.
They beat 2 number 1 seeds, the 2nd seed.
Yeah,
and I feel like you saw the confidence go up. Like
they played mistake-free football.
Yeah.
First
when they needed to.
Obviously the Miami game. It's cold. It's cold.
In Miami,
so Miami's got a cold team.
And they already was losing.
But then besides that being their home game, they traveled to Buffalo, beat them in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Traveled to Baltimore.
That was a good Baltimore team, dude.
That was the best. Honestly, it's the best Baltimore team I've seen with Lamar ever.
Good. So yeah,
and
I thought it was gonna be the Ravens.
Did y'all see the graphic that they held most teams? They're like their defense was up there with some of the best defenses
ever. Yeah.
Ever.
I believe it because, like I said, their offense was struggling, and I think if it wasn't for defense.
And what do they say? What's the saying? Defense wins championships.
And they don't really get credit. I don't think defense gets the love.
And when you got that man at quarterback, it's a good thing too.
Look at teams like Pittsburgh, who always look like, they just don't look like they should have enough, but they always have one of the top defenses.
Yeah.
And they're always making
Once again, their defense brought them to the playoffs, carried them, because that offense was doing. They were scoring 16, 17 points.
Rodgers going out the first. Oh my God!
That was crazy.
It's crazy. I have never been excited to see Rodgers play. I was genuinely excited to see him on this
Jets team. It'd be cool to see the Jets be good for a while.
And the worst part about it was the Jets were just a quarterback away because their defense played lights out this season.
Last season.
Yeah, their defense kept them in so many games this year. All they needed was a decent quarterback.
And they would not give up on Wilson. They go shopping.
But they couldn't. They had no money.
Well, Flacco's sitting on the. Well, they already tried. I stopped. Did I not stop talking? I was like,
yeah. So this season was full of highlights, surprises, and all those types of things. So overall it was a great season.
Yeah, I think we saw a lot of good football.
I was happy with it. I'm looking forward to this all season. See what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of things. To cover this off season.
Yeah, I think so. I think.
Yeah. You guys will definitely see more of us. You'll see different videos. We'll still do a video every week for the most part.
Yeah. We'll have our structure. We'll throw in some unstructured stuff.
Maybe other sports.
Have fun with it. Maybe talk about some other stuff, other sports and things that are going on.
Mm-hmm.
NBA playoffs will be coming up in a couple months.
Yeah, we got March Madness is coming.
Up, and I actually really love it.
It's
the only time I watch college.
It's the only time I.
Yeah, so that'll be good. And also you may see some Madden plays, some live streams and stuff like that.
We might be going on Twitch. Maybe not sure if we're going to stream on YouTube, but might start seeing some actual streams and games. Madden. Not sure if we're going to throw in other games here and there. Right now, it's just going to be Madden, stay with the sports theme type thing.
Yeah.
But should be some big stuff coming up in the near future.
The only game I know how to play is Call of Duty, so y'all have fun.
No,
we might have some tutorials teaching her how to play.
Tutorials work.
That might be a video as us tutorialing with her.
Yeah.
Might get Deanna to play Tristan. Who knows?
Could be a
Different
lot.
things, crazy stuff. Might let the cat play the dog. We'll see. So keep checking in with us, and I'll keep letting y'all know. We'll keep letting y'all know when we're gonna be putting stuff out.
Yeah, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
You just, tell us what you hear.
All right, peace.